Good evening, friends. So today is the fourth session of the workshop. The topic for today is how to test the hypothesis using the SmartPLS. And the session covers four aspects today. Number one, how to decide about the theory and the existing hypothesis. Then how to develop the hypothesis, how to test the hypothesis using the bootstrap method, and how to report the hypothesis. And we will do one example today. So the first thing that many students ask me that so why we should apply the SEM? Why not regression analysis? Why not other analysis? Why only SEM? So the answer is that you are measuring the construct with the help of the items. So whenever you are measuring the construct with the help of the items, SEM is required. Because regression is required only when you are having simple variable. Like in economics, you are having GDP, money supply. You can find out the impact of money supply or GDP, impact of interest rate on this. So in that case, regression is the only method to apply. But in questionnaire, we are measuring different construct and find out the relationship between them. So regression is not the right technique. The technique which is designed especially for the construct is SEM. And frankly speaking, I have seen many theses which are rejected by the reviewer that why you have not applied the SEM. So number one, so when you are dealing with the latent construct, which is measured with few item are the variables, then SEM is required. When your hypothesis is supported by either the strong literature support or theoretical background. So there are two things. Your hypothesis is supported by the literature and theory or theory. So when you are testing the complex relationship in the model, you have mediation, moderation, so many multiple constructs, higher order constructs. So SEM is required. And normally sample size is required large. So now these are the cases when SEM is needed. So now I want to explain the difference between existing theory and hypothesis. So in this slide, you can see that there are different theories I mentioned here. Theory of planned behavior, stimulus, organism and response theory, theory of reasoned action, technology acceptance model, unified theory of technology acceptance, uses and gratification theory, it is uses and gratification theory. So these are well established theory, well established models, right? Now, on the other side, these are two models which are not backed by the theory, they are backed by the literature. Like, for example, in this case, in second example, you can see this is all about AI adoption. Why companies are adopting the artificial intelligence. Theory is not built yet, but there are many hypotheses in the literature. Similarly, green purchase product attitude, green product. So it is not on any theory, although they take social influence from the existing theory, but it is not a theory. Like fear of COVID pandemic, this is not a theory. So there are two things. देखिए दो चीजें हैं, एक well established theory, second is hypothesis in the literature. And hypotheses are tested by many, but it is not a theory. Hypothesis is a theory when it is well accepted by many people, and later on it becomes a theory. But it is tested many times by many researchers. So in literature, you have to find out two things: whether our model is supported by theory or our model is supported by hypothesis. यहाँ पे आपकी क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए. Number one. Number two, so when you go to the theory, you must have understanding of the theory. Like, for example, I will explain briefly all these theories. Like theory of planned behavior explain all types of planned behavior. I'm giving you some of the examples of planned behavior. Like shopping behavior is a planned behavior, right? Similarly, entrepreneurial intention and opening a startup, it is a planned behavior. कोई भी व्यक्ति एकदम से स्टार्टअप ओपन नहीं करता, पूरी प्लानिंग होती है, उसको स्टार्टअप ओपन होता है. So all the decisions, all the planned decisions, all the planned decisions are explained by this theory of planned behavior. Now, I have seen many scholars who are applying the theory of planned behavior, but they don't know what is subjective norm, what is perceived behavioral control. उन्हें पता ही नहीं कि होता क्या है. So, and they are applying the theory. So I always recommend that you must understand each and every construct. So what is the meaning of each and every construct? Like this theory say that you must have positive attitude towards the decision. You must have subjective norm, means आपके आसपास society, social influence में क्या हो रहा है, whether your decision is influenced by other people in the society. Perceived behavioral control means you are fit. You think that I am fit in this decision. I am giving you one example. एक example मैं आपको देता हूँ. Suppose we are interested to study the research publication behavior of the teacher. So in this case, the intention means intention to write a research paper. Behavior means he already write a research paper. Intention means intention, then comes behavior. But intention only comes when three things are there. Number one, the faculty must have positive attitude towards writing the research paper. And he also have many friends, colleagues who are already doing this. So the social influence is there. आपके चारों तरफ लोग रिसर्च पेपर लिख रहे हैं, तो आपका भी मन करेगा मैं भी लिख लूं. Perceived behavioral control means you feel that I am capable of doing that. I have found many professors who say that भाई ये मेरे अपने बस का काम नहीं है, रिसर्च पेपर लिखना अपने बस का काम नहीं है. तो मतलब क्या है, परसीव्ड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल नहीं है. सो परसीव्ड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल मींस यू आर थिंकिंग दैट यू आर कैपेबल ऑफ डूइंग दैट. So these three things cause intention and behavior. This is one. Second very much important from this theory is that कि intention नहीं होगी तो behavior नहीं आ सकता. So intention is the mediator. If you do, because you can see that attitude is causing intention, attitude is not causing behavior. Subjective norm is causing intention, not the behavior. Perceived behavioral control किसको impact कर रहा है, intention और behavior दोनों को. So it means they will cause intention and intention leads to behavior. Without intention, behavior never comes. Right. So this is the theory of planned behavior. So now I'm giving you one example. So one of the researcher decided to do a research on organic food. And he feel that this theory is not sufficient to explain the theory of purchase behavior of organic food. So he took health consciousness in addition to the three independent variables. Similarly, many researchers are doing purchase behavior or purchase intention of electric vehicles, electric cars. So they say that these three independent variables are not sufficient to explain the intention, so they add one or two more construct into the model. That is the environmental consciousness. Similarly, if somebody is doing research on the some other area, so they are adding the construct accordingly. So number one, theory is in general. If you are using this theory for organic food or branded product or luxury buying, something like that, it means you are adapting the theory for your product. मतलब ये थ्योरी तो कॉमन है, ये थ्योरी किसी किसी पर्टिकुलर डिसीजन की बात नहीं करती है. दिस थ्योरी इज वेरी कॉमन. लेकिन इफ यू आर अप्लाइंग दिस थ्योरी फॉर रिसर्च पब्लिकेशन, इलेक्ट्रिक कार्स, राइट, so it means you are adapting the theory. So you have to change all the statement according to your product. So that is called adaptive scaling. Then you can say my model is supported by theory and I am going to apply SEM. Similarly, the planned behavior, right? So this is a kind of behavior when you do the proper planning to take the decision. Opposite of this behavior is impulsive behavior. एक दूसरा behavior है impulsive behavior. You don't plan, but you do the action. For example, if you go to a restaurant and you call the menu and whatever you order, some of the items may not be planned items. आप बहुत सारे item जो मंगाते हो रेस्टोरेंट में, हो सकता है कि आपने उसकी प्लानिंग ना की हो, आपने देखा मंगा लिया. So these kind of decisions are called impulsive decisions. These decisions are very common in restaurants, in malls, because in malls you saw a product or you saw a discount or a one plus one offer and you bought. आपने प्लानिंग नहीं किया था लेकिन आपने ऑफर देखा, बाय कर लिया. So these are called impulsive behavior. So impulsive behavior को explain करने के लिए ये थ्योरी है. So this theory say that stimulus are very important. Stimulus leads to organisms which are of two nature: cognitive reaction, affective reaction, and these two reaction leads to the response. Response may be revisit, word of mouth, e-worm, purchase. So these are the response. So this theory is explaining all kind of impulsive behavior. इसको मार्केटिंग में impulsive buying behavior कहते हैं. In other areas, it is called impulsive behavior. Now, similarly, this theory explained why people do a particular action. Like, for example, if you go to a class, you know that some students sit in front row, some students sit in last row. अब सवाल ये कि क्यों करते हैं साहब, भाई लोग एक पर्टिकुलर बिहेवियर क्यों करते हैं? तो टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट द रीजन एक्शन, थ्योरी ऑफ रीजन एक्शन. सो थ्योरी ऑफ रीजन एक्शन एक्सप्लेन्स why people behave in a particular way. So this kind of explanation can be done by reasoned action. So there are many studies like why people buy luxury good, है ना? एक ये हो सकता है कि why people go for branded product. So if you want to explain why customer buy this, why customer do this, or why people are not doing research, why good teachers are not doing research, why teachers are so like that. If you want to explain these kind of things, so you have to use theory of reason action. Now, this model was very old model. This model explains how people adopt the technology, why people adopt the technology. And this model, because I'm not discussing this model because it is replaced by UTET model. UTET model say that there are four basic factors which are behind every acceptance of the new technology. परफॉर्मेंस एक्सपेक्टेंसी का मतलब है कि ये टेक्नोलॉजी कैसा परफॉर्म करेगी. इफर्ट एक्सपेंसी, मुझे बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत तो नहीं करना पड़ेगा. इफर्ट एक्सपेक्टेंसी का मतलब है कि मुझे बहुत ज्यादा मेहनत तो नहीं करना है. I have to put less effort. Social influence means why? Because other people are also using it, so let me also use that. Facilitating condition means, do I have proper instrument to use that? For example, if you want to use a wallet, आप सब लोग जीपे, फोन पे सब यूज करते हैं, तो फोन पे यूज करने के लिए क्या चाहिए? लैप सॉरी मोबाइल फोन, स्मार्टफोन. इफ यू डोंट हैव स्मार्टफोन यू कैन नॉट डू जीपे, फोन पे, राइट? सो स्मार्टफोन इज द फैसिलिटेटिंग कंडीशन. दूसरा, स्मार्टफोन के साथ इंटरनेट भी चाहिए. इंटरनेट इज ऑल्सो ए फैसिलिटेटिंग कंडीशन. सो these things will impact the behavioral intention to adopt the technology. लेकिन आप यहाँ देखिए फैसिलिटिंग कंडीशन कहाँ पे इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है? इट इज नॉट इम्पैक्टिंग द बिहेवियरल इंटेंशन, इट इज इम्पैक्टिंग डायरेक्टली द बिहेवियर. कि ये तीन चीजों से इंटेंशन आएगी और फैसिलिटिंग कंडीशन से बिहेवियर आएगा. ठीक है. थ्योरी को समझिए. लोग क्या करते हैं कि फैसिलिटिंग कंडीशन को इसमें भी जोड़ देते हैं, इसको इसमें भी जोड़ देंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता. So you have to understand the theory. और एक चीज और बताता हूँ मैं आपको. So one of the researcher was applying this model on adoption of the health insurance policy. मैंने कहा चलो ठीक है, वैसे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी को अडॉप्ट नहीं करते. दैट सबसे पहली बात है कि उस पर क्या लगना चाहिए? थ्योरी ऑफ प्लान बिहेवियर. बिकॉज यू हैव टू प्लान टू बाय इंश्योरेंस policy. But the researcher is applying the UDET model. So my point is that choose the right theory for your topic. Another example is that there are so many papers of using the OTT. भाई आप आजकल नेटफ्लिक्स पे, अमेजन प्राइम पे बहुत सारी मूवीज आती हैं. सो किसी ने रिसर्च किया कि लोग इनको क्यों, ओटीटी को क्यों यूज करते हैं. अब यहाँ पे दो चीजें हैं. वाई पीपल यूज ओटीटी और why people adopt OTT. So when you use word adopt, then it means UDET model is applicable. And when you write use, then theory of planned behavior is applicable. So surprisingly, both theories are available in the literature. Both theories are there. So some people uses UDET model and use the word adopt. Some researchers apply theory of planned behavior and they call it planned decision to use OTT for watching the movies. So theory, understanding of theory is very important. Number two, अब जो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पे रिसर्च कर रहा था उसने एक कंस्ट्रक्ट लिया hedonic motivation. So and the hypothesis is that hedonic motivation have a significant effect on the purchase of हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस. तो मैंने उससे पूछा हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्यों लेते हो आप? वाई यू आर टेकिंग हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस? राइट, बिकॉज सो दैट इफ समबडी सम प्रॉब्लम कम्स एटलीस्ट यू विल हैव फंड्स. अब हिडोनिक मोटिवेशन का मतलब है मजा. आपको मजा आ रहा है, एंजॉय, यू एंजॉय. तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी लेने में क्या मजा आता है? हाउ कैन यू एक्सप्लेन दैट हिडोनिक मोटिवेशन इज, मतलब मुझे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी लेने में मजा, कौन सा मजा आता है ना? So he said that because somebody take hedonic motivation in other research, so I all adopt this. तो मैंने पूछा कि उनका प्रोडक्ट क्या था, टेक्नोलॉजी क्या थी? उन्होंने कहा सोशल मीडिया. तो सोशल मीडिया में तो मजा आता है यूज करने में, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में थोड़ी मजा आता है. तो पॉइंट ये है, सिलेक्शन ऑफ द फैक्टर शुड बी लॉजिकल. ये नहीं कि किसी और ने सोशल मीडिया पे लिया तो आपने हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस में ले लिया. नो, you have to be very, very cautious that this factor is applicable in my product or not. So selection of the factors is very, very important in the theory. And the last theory which I explain is called user and gratification theory, uses and gratification theory. Actually, this theory explains why people use media. It is a media based theory. जो लोग मास कम्युनिकेशन में है, मार्केटिंग में है, so for those, this theory is very common. So they want to know why people use media, and if they feel satisfied, they will continue to use it, right? So there are different purpose of using the media. Like for example, information seeking is one purpose of using the media. So uses and gratification explains why people use the media. There are different type of needs. आप में से 90% लोग मोबाइल देखते होंगे और उसमें भी कौन से टिकटॉक और ये इस टाइप के रील देखते होंगे, क्यों? बिकॉज यू नीड क्विक एंटरटेनमेंट, right? Some people are watching the news because you want information. So the information, self discovery, maintain interpersonal connectivity, entertainment value, social enhancement, so these are the different purpose for using the media. And these factors affecting the participation intention, and if you feel satisfied you will continue to use it. So that theory which explains the usage of media is called usage and gratification theory. So there are many theories like this. If you want to add any theory, please tell me. I will add in also in another lecture. So these are the most popular theory I found in the literature, and I want to say that whenever you are proposing your model, you must be clear that which theory is supporting my model. Number one. So this is the first part of my today's session. Now a second part is hypothesis development. Okay. So these are the theories. And if people are using this theory for using the web usage, Facebook usage, WhatsApp usage, like that, social media. Okay. Now the second part is, okay, I hope you understand that what is the difference between hypothesis support and theory support. अगर आप रिसर्च कर रहे हो कि एआई एडॉप्शन पे, बिग डेटा एडॉप्शन पे थ्योरी नहीं मिलेगी आपको, यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट सम हाइपोथेसिस फ्रॉम द लिटरेचर. So you need hypothesis support. And if you are applying the theory, then you need theory support. So another thing, if your model is based on theory, apply CB-SEM. If your theory, if your model is based on hypothesis support, use PLS-SEM. यहाँ पे बड़ा क्लियर कट डिफरेंशिएशन है कि अगर आपका मॉडल थ्योरी से इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है, CB-SEM लगाओ, और if your model is supported by existing hypothesis in the literature, use PLS-SEM. I hope it is clear. Now, second part of the session is how to develop the hypothesis in your paper. Now, what is hypothesis? Actually, in SmartPLS, so hypothesis is tested with the help of path coefficient. If your path coefficient, like for example, if you say that X is having an impact on Y, मैं आपको एक चीज बता दूं, यहाँ पे दो वर्ड हैं, एक तो इम्पैक्ट और एक है इन्फ्लुएंस. तो ज्यादातर केसेस में आपको ये वर्ड मिलेगा. इन पेपर यू फाइंड आउट दिस वर्ड. The reason is that one attitude have an influence on other attitude. So there is a relationship between the attitude. There is a relationship between the attitude. So X is one attitude and Y is another attitude. So and we are finding out the relationship between attitude X and attitude Y. So we are not talking about fact, we are talking about attitude. लेकिन इकोनॉमिक्स में हम क्या करते हैं, हम कहते हैं इम्पैक्ट ऑफ एफडीआई ऑन मनी सप्लाई. अब मनी सप्लाई भी फैक्ट है, जीडीपी और ये क्या है, दीज आर दी फैक्ट, राइट? फैक्ट. सो व्हेन यू फाइंड आउट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन टू फैक्ट, जीडीपी, मनी सप्लाई, इंटरेस्ट रेट, तो हम वर्ड यूज करेंगे इम्पैक्ट. बट हियर वी आर फाइंडिंग आउट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द टू एटीट्यूड, so we will use the word influence. Now, in hypothesis, use the word influence rather than the impact. So this is a minor point, but important point. Suppose you want to find out the influence of X on Y. So this influence is studied by beta and its p-value. So point number one, hypothesis is tested with the help of path coefficient and p-value. the methodology we adopted is bootstrapping. In bootstrapping, the sample is divided into different subsample and run the model on all the samples and take the average of that. This is called bootstrapping. There is a different type of bootstrapping, complete bootstrapping and quick bootstrapping. We always apply quick, complete bootstrapping. And you have to define कि मुझे bootstrapping कितने sample पे करनी है 1 2 3 4 कितने sample पे so ideally it's 10,000 or 5,000. So these are the two standardized samples for bootstrapping. I will explain in much detail. Now, whenever you write a paper, जब भी आप सैम के ऊपर पेपर लिखना चाहते हो तो हाइपोथेसिस डेवलपमेंट का ये स्टाइल अपनाना पड़ेगा आपको. Like for example, I want to say that environmental consciousness have a significant effect on consumption on green product. तो यहाँ पे आप दो चीज देखिए. The topic में मैंने लिखा कि factor 1 and factor 2. I want to establish the relationship between factor 1 and factor 2. And the word you have to write is influenced. You can see on the slide. और मुझे पूरा एक लॉजिक देना पड़ेगा कि there is a logical connection between these two type of attitude. So I give some literature support. With the help of literature support, at least 4 or 5 literature support you have to write here. And on the basis of this, you have to write that those aspects supported the formulation of hypothesis and you have to write the hypothesis here. So this is called hypothesis development. So this hypothesis is developed by the existing hypothesis, existing conclusion made by other researchers. So that's why we are proposing this hypothesis. Similarly, you have to write for all other hypotheses. And now this is hypothesis development. After developing the hypothesis, now you are going to the SmartPLS. In SmartPLS, we are having a technique called bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is a method to get normalized results. Like for example, if you see this distribution is not the normal distribution. So we do the bootstrap. If we do proper bootstrap, the distribution is coming like this, and you can see it is a near to the normal distribution. So you will get generalized results. So bootstrapping is one of the method for hypothesis testing in the result. Number of sample you can take from 500 to 5,000. So these are the bootstrap samples. And this sampling, resampling is called bootstrapping. So bootstrapping is a non-parametric procedure. You know that SmartPLS is applicable on the small data set, non-normal data set. So this kind of SEM is known as non-parametric SEM. So non-parametric SEM is key hypothesis testing. The hypothesis testing with the help of non-parametric procedure is only possible with the help of bootstrapping method, where we use T distribution to check the hypothesis. So the software will give you the result of T distribution and its P value. So if T value is more than T for Tata, if T value is more than 1.96 or probability value, P value is less than 0.05, it means your alternate hypothesis is supported by the result. So this is the key for bootstrapping test. And so I mentioned here the T values you have to check. And the software do parallel processing, means there are different processes going simultaneously. And this is the table which you need to report in the research paper. So if you see, the hypothesis, the first column is having the hypothesis number H1A, 1B, 1C. And remember that null hypothesis is not allowed in SEM. वैसे तो null hypothesis कहीं पे भी allowed नहीं होती है, लेकिन especially in structural equation modeling, you never write null hypothesis. So you have to write only the alternate hypothesis. This is dependent construct, endogenous matlab dependent construct, independent construct. This is path coefficient. Path coefficient value always comes between 0 and 1. Negative means negative impact, positive means positive impact. And this value, if it is more than 0.2, normally it is found to be significant. More than 0.4 is highly significant. And standard error is the possible error in the path coefficient. मतलब path coefficient इतना ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है. And t-test, this is the most important test. T-test, if it is more than 1.96, it means it is significant. It means there is a significant influence of X on Y. So you have to check the t-test, and normally p-value we don't report in the research paper. So only t-value we need to report. So 2 star indicate that it is significant at 95% confidence level. अगर यहाँ पे आप 2 स्टार लगाओगे तो 95% कॉन्फिडेंस पे सिग्निफिकेंट है, 3 स्टार लगाओगे तो 99% पे सिग्निफिकेंट है. तो नॉर्मली हम 95 पे दिखाते हैं. So we use 95% confidence. So we report by putting 2 star here. And this R square and Q square, they are reporting the model fit. R square is reporting the explanatory power. Q square is reported to show predictive power. So R square, Q square, there are F square. These are the statistical values to show that our model is very fit. So we will discuss more in much detail. And then remark, you can see that in almost every paper, either you write supported or failed to support. या तो आप यहाँ पे लिखोगे कि भाई these hypotheses are supported, या लिखोगे failed to support. इसके अलावा accepted, rejected नहीं होता. So you have to use the word supported or not supported. And in one of the paper, I also found the how to report the goodness of fit, because in SmartPLS, you know that we don't have much goodness of fit, but you can report SRMR and NFI. SRMR and NFI are standardized measure of goodness of fit. SRMR should be less than 0.08 and NFI should be greater than 0.8. So if these two conditions are there, then you can say my model is fit. I repeat, SRMR और कौन सा देखना है? Estimated. Saturated का मतलब है कि अगर ये मॉडल बेस्ट होता तो कितना होता? हमारा भी बेस्ट के बराबर है. अगर ये मॉडल सैचुरेटेड होता तो 0.85 होता, हमारा भी 0.858 है. So our model is close to this best model. So ideally, SRMR should be less than 0.08. NFI should be greater than 0.8. Number 2, if you multiply average AVE multiplied by the R square, so this is another goodness of fit I found in one paper. So you can also use this method to check the goodness of fit. जितने भी कंस्ट्रक्ट मॉडल के अंदर हैं उनके AVE का स्क्वायर करेंगे और मल्टीप्लाइड बाई R square of the dependent variable. And if GOF, goodness of fit, is equal to 0.10, it is small, 0.25 medium, and 0.36 large. So this method was proposed by Tannen Haas ETL and Chin 1998. So the literature support is also given here. So you can use these measures for goodness of fit. Okay, this is another example of reporting the hypothesis. So hypothesis testing. Now I am going to show you one example in SmartPLS that what we have to do for hypothesis testing. So each and everything I will explain. Okay. Similarly, the second point I will also show you in the result, that how to calculate the scores of the construct. So now I'm moving to the practical demonstration, how to use PLS. So I have a data set, and I will apply the SEM for that. So first of all, open the SEM, and creating a new project, 0 day 5, day 4, आज 14 दिन है, create. So day 4 comes here, import data, and we have to go for desktop. So I am taking this organic food data set, import. So I will show you both PLS-SEM and CB-SEM so that you can create as per your choice. So first we are going for PLS-SEM, and the moment you click, canvas come. Okay. So my first factor is health consciousness, which is proposed by the scholar, that it is having impact on purchase intention of organic food. Second is the environment consciousness, price of the organic food. Then we have attitude, so subjective norms, the LAB stand for labeling, and PI stand for purchase intention. Okay. So scholar take the attitude, subjective norms from the theory, and additional factors from the literature. So normally whenever you propose a model, some constructs come from the theory, so that you can say my model is influenced by or supported by theory, and I'm also adding my own construct which is based on existing literature. तो इसको हम कहते हैं modified theoretical model. So this is modified theoretical model. So first of all, I have to complete the model. So normally when we make the model, so normally मैं क्या करता हूँ कि पहले इसको थोड़ा सा zoom करके सेट करना होता है इनको. So normally we have to set the model. After that, this is labeling. सिर्फ 1 मिनट लगेगा इसको सेट करने में. हम इनको चेंज सेलेक्ट करके कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हिला नहीं सकते एक साथ. The movement you have to do one by one. And finally, the attitude, I think it is last. Okay, now my model is set and we have to place them. So this is called placing the constructs. Okay, now we go click on the connect. So we are joining all the constructs. My model is ready. So first of all, you have to make the diagram. And once you make the diagram, first of all, save it. सेव करना बहुत जरूरी है. सेव इट. और ध्यान रखिएगा इनकी फुल फॉर्म होनी चाहिए. डोंट राइट शॉर्ट फॉर्म, इट अदरवाइज इट विल नेवर बी एक्सेप्टेड इन द पेपर. Both in thesis and the complete sentence, complete word should come. You can increase it by click on plus. So I am increasing the size so that it is visible to you. HC stand for health consciousness. SN stand for subjective norms. Environment consciousness. And this is the attitude. After making the diagram, click on the calculate. इसको पहले सेव कर लेते हैं. Calculate. Now bootstrapping. So we have to learn the bootstrapping procedure. Bootstrapping is the only technique available in SmartPLS for hypothesis testing. किसी और मेथड से hypothesis testing मत करना. ये अकेला मेथड है. It is the only method for hypothesis testing. For SEM only. So we go for bootstrapping. Now the software is asking that how many bootstrap sample. 5,000 is perfectly fine. Then software asks that most important. ये आपको most important नहीं करना है, इसको करना है complete slower. So we need complete. If you click on most important, many of the result will not come. So we have to click on complete only. Bootstrap में percentile bootstrap, two-tailed, all as it is. The most important is that PLS setup में ये standardized होना चाहिए. Don't click on unstandardized, click on always standardized. ये बहुत important है क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्कॉलर ये भूल जाते हैं, इसको क्लिक कर देते हैं, तो दे विल गॉट द रॉन्ग रिजल्ट्स. सो क्लिक ऑन स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड एंड पाथ. वी वांट पाथ कोएफिशिएंट स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड. सो ओनली दिस थिंग वी रिक्वायर. क्लिक कैलकुलेट. And we get the result in 1 minute. If you click on 10,000, it will take more time. If you click 100, it will take less time. Okay, now this is the diagram. If you see on the left hand side, अब ये देखिए यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है पहले स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडल. स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडल यानी ये वाला स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडल में हम लिखेंगे पाथ कोएफिशिएंट एंड पी वैल्यू. स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड है. स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडल में हमेशा ऑलवेज पाथ कोएफिशिएंट एंड पी वैल्यू आएगा. मेजरमेंट मॉडल इसमें आउटर वेट एंड लोडिंग आएंगी. सो ये दोनों चीज पे आपने क्लिक करना है. And then you have to make it visible. You click on the select this and click on plus, because these values should be, at least path coefficient should be visible. Okay, so from these path coefficient we can examine that all results are significant. You can see that all are significant. कैसे पता चलेगा? P value ब्रैकेट के अंदर क्या लिखा है? P value. The P value if it is less than 0.05, if the P value जो ब्रैकेट के अंदर है if P value is less than 0.05, we can say significant effect. So this is also less than 0.05, less than 0.05. So all everywhere it is significant. अब दूसरा सवाल इन सब में सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट किसका है? So the highest impact we found in case of environmental conscious. क्यों? Path coefficient is the highest. So higher the path coefficient, higher is the impact. Higher is the path coefficient, higher is the impact. So purchase intention is maximum influenced by environmental consciousness. Second highest is health consciousness, right? So then third highest is attitude. So whenever you write the interpretation, so you have to write this, that we found that the purchase intention is maximum influenced by environmental consciousness, followed by health consciousness, followed by attitude. And the least impact is found in case of price. So this is the diagram. Now, after looking at the diagram, click on open report. So after clicking on the open report, you will get the results. Path coefficient, click on the path coefficient, ये टेबल आपकी आएगी. So the यहाँ पर दो चीजें आएंगी, ओरिजिनल सैंपल एंड सैंपल मीन. सो क्या रिपोर्ट करना है? सैंपल मीन. एक प्रॉब्लम आती है, देख क्या. सो लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैं एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे दिखाता हूँ आपको. दिस वैल्यू इज 304 and this value is 303. And if you see the diagram, this value is 303. If you see the diagram, this value is 304. डायग्राम में कौन सी वैल्यू है? 304. टेबल में कौन सी वैल्यू दिखेगी? 303. यहां पर बहुत बार ये पूछा जाता है मुझसे कि डायग्राम में कुछ वैल्यू और है, आप टेबल में वैल्यू कुछ और है, आप तो गलत टेबल दिखा रहे हो. तो यहाँ पर ये दिस क्वेश्चन वाज आस्क्ड एटलीस्ट 10 टाइम्स. मतलब 10 स्कॉलर से ये सवाल पूछा गया है कि वो व्हाई द वैल्यूज आर डिफरेंट इन द डायग्राम एंड इन द टेबल. द आंसर इज दैट द डायग्राम रिप्रेजेंट द ओरिजिनल वैल्यू, ओरिजिनल सैंपल. मतलब जो आपका एक्चुअल सैंपल है वो वैल्यू दिखेगी. But in the table, we are reporting the sample mean. It is the mean of all the samples. कितने sample? 5,000. So we have to report the 5,000 average of the 5,000 samples. So this is called sample mean. Because hypothesis testing is done on the sample mean, so we have to report sample mean. But whenever you are reporting the sample mean, always remember this value should be slightly different from the value of on the graph. तो ये आंसर लोग दे नहीं पाते. So that's why I am telling you that sample mean is reported in the table and the original sample is reported in the graph. But hypothesis testing is done on the t-test. So whenever the t value is more than 1.96, 1.96 यहाँ पे स्टैंडर्ड वैल्यू है, मैं लिख देता हूँ 1.96. So if p value is more than 1.96 at 95% confidence level, your hypothesis is accepted. कौन सी hypothesis? Alternate. Your alternate hypothesis supported. So we don't use the word accepted, we have to use the word supported. Okay. So I hope अब यहाँ तक clear है. उसके बाद now you have to go for model fitness. So when you go to the model fitness, you have check the value, the complete model देखते हैं एक बार. Okay. So SRMR of the sample estimated model is 0.036, which is good. We know that whenever the SRMR is less than 0.05, it is considered to be a good model. Although all other values are not coming, so only SRMR is coming. So you need to report SRMR for the model. And some values I will explain in the next session, that what is R square, F square, R square. इसको थोड़ा डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे नेक्स्ट सेशन में. So अभी मैं इसको नहीं डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. So this is the results for how this is the procedure of how to check the hypothesis testing in smart PLS-SEM. Now same model I am running in CB-SEM. So we also have a method called new CB-SEM model, and this is the CB-SEM. We can run both SEM in smart PLS. And now I am going to run CB-SEM. Yeah. Hardly it will take 1 minute to make the model and 5 minutes to explain the result. So same model we can also make in CB-SEM. CB-SEM में errors terms, ये जो green डब्बे हैं, so these are the error terms. And because of these error terms, the methodology is totally different. We apply maximum likelihood estimation method in CB-SEM, and the last variable is purchase intention. So now we have to set the model. So we have to send to the left hand side. ये मॉडल बनाने से पहले इनको सेट करना जरूरी है. So if you follow this procedure, it will take less time. Okay, so बस ये last labeling is there. So we have to make a line left side or right side. Don't make up and down. Otherwise, the concept loading will not be visible. So now we can make the model. Then go to connect. So model is complete. After completing the model, go to calculate, run basic CB-SEM algorithm, or you can also run CB-SEM bootstrapping. Both modes are perfectly fine. Number of sample is 500. Complete and start calculation. So the software is running the model and will give you all the result. So if your model is supported by the theory, go to this. If you are supported by the literature, then go to the PLS-SEM. So it will take hardly half minute. Okay, so now your result is there. Go to structural model first. Click on standardized. यहाँ पे दो चीज आएंगी, unstandardized, standardized. So you have to check only standardized path coefficient and p value, and go to select. Select this. Increase the size. So you can identify that whether it is significant or not. P value is should be found to be less than 0.05. आप सारी वैल्यू देख पा रहे हैं. इसको हम चाहे तो बोल्ड भी कर सकते हैं. So I am doing the bold so that you can see all values clearly. ये वैल्यू दिखानी कंपलसरी है. उसके बाद आप ये मेजरमेंट मॉडल. In measurement model, go to standardize and p value. So these construct loadings, you can see all the construct loadings are clearly visible. And after that, once your model is ready, go for open report. Path coefficient. So these are the path coefficient. T statistic, all greater than 1.96. So all significant. And you can write supported, supported, supported. And then you have to show the goodness of fit. So goodness of fit, I think it comes in basic CB-SEM algorithm. एक बार इसको भी रन कर लेते हैं. So all the values are there. Yes. So in quality criteria, you have a model fitness. And in model fitness, you have to check 5 values. Number 1, chi-square upon degree of freedom. This value should be less than 3. यहाँ पे थोड़ी ज़्यादा है. This value should be less than 3. हालांकि less than 5 भी चल जाती है. But ideally it should be less than 3. RMSEA should be less than 0.05. That is there. GFI should be greater than 0.8. यहाँ पे थोड़ी कम है. And NFI, TLI value, they should be more than 0.9. So ये थोड़ी कम है. And if you ask me that how I can increase these values by joining them correlation. In smart CB-SEM, अगर आपको मॉडल फिट बनाना है तो आप इसमें से correlation, maybe not this. If you join them by correlation, the model fitness will improve. And this is allowed in CB-SEM. This is only allowed in CB-SEM. It is not allowed. This correlation is not allowed in PLS-SEM. ये मैंने उल्टा लगा दिया. So like this. So this correlation researchers use to increase the model fit. So I will show you that after this process, the model fit significantly improves. Okay. Now if I run basic CB-SEM, so you can check all model fit are coming good. Open report. And go to quality criteria. And now you can check. So where is quality criteria? Yeah. So now the chi-square degree of freedom is less than 3. The GFI is more than 0.9. 0.8, NFI, TLI, CMI, ये सारे के सारे 0.9 से ऊपर पहुंच गए. So this is the way we run CB-SEM model and PLS-SEM model for hypothesis testing. So the complete procedure of hypothesis testing we have completed today. And in the next session, we will go for quality criteria like F square, R square, Q square. So all the quality criteria we will do in next session. So now I closing the session and come for the discussion. Give me a minute.